Black History Month you find
Ridiculous.
why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours?
You know, what's happening in the news now. Is that a good idea?
It's a great idea. It is the greatest idea. We have a much more vibrant society when we don't have such a vast chasm.
So Morgan Freeman is with us today, and I've read up, obviously, on things that you've said in the past about Dr. Martin Luther King. And you had said this, Dr. Martin Luther King is not a black hero. He is an American
hero.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
All right, folks, let's dive into the world of Morgan Freeman, the legendary actor, the voice of wisdom, and the man whose presence commands respect in every scene he's in. This is the man who's delivered some of the most iconic performances in film history. But beyond the silver screen, he's also stepped into the ring on one of today's most heated debates: woke culture, especially on racial and gender identities. Freeman's perspective is a wise and thoughtful critique of the divisive narratives dominating today's discussions, and his powerful insights might just change the way you think about unity and equality. So, get ready for a deep dive into his straightforward and unapologetic truths. And hey, real quick, if you're enjoying this content and want more insights like this, hit subscribe and help us bring these conversations to a wider audience. Thank you for the support. Now, let's jump back into the video.
What happened as I began to push actors into that thing, that's the kind of performance I started to get. Because I had already imposed something on them, as opposed to letting me see what they were doing and saying, well, I can work with that.
I think a good director, and this isn't my saying, this was something I heard from Mike Nichol.
Freeman's career began during a time when the entertainment industry was a hostile environment for minorities. Opportunities were limited and stereotypes were rampant. Over time, Hollywood transformed into what appeared to be an inclusive space where everyone, regardless of race or background, could succeed. However, Freeman saw this inclusive utopia as an illusion.
If you sort of categorize people, it tends to dilute their importance. Referring to Dr. Martin Luther King as a black hero, it lessens his stature. He's an American hero.
Freeman was particularly vocal about how this dynamic affected him personally. Hollywood executives and media outlets often used him as a symbol of success for their purposes. They framed his rise as a testament to the entertainment industry's inclusivity, turning his life story into a narrative that suited their agenda. This superficial representation, Freeman believed, undermined the genuine struggles and achievements of minorities, reducing them to tokens in a broader ideological framework.
Black History Month you find
Ridiculous.
why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No, well, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
One of Freeman's most famous rebukes of the woke narrative came during an interview with Don Lemon. When Lemon attempted to frame success as a matter of racial privilege, Freeman countered with a clear and powerful argument.
Yes, I think that profiling is still a big problem we have here. We were talking about stop and search in New York. That's obvious profiling because most of the people they stop and search are black and Hispanic.
Freeman's directness in addressing such issues marked him as a target for the woke mob, a vocal group determined to silence dissenting opinions. But Freeman didn't back down. He saw their narrative, that minorities were perpetual victims, as both disempowering and patronizing.
The whole thing, especially the president and Democrats now are talking about income inequality, and that's basically what, you know, when you talk about the richest 85 people on the planet, right?
Yeah.
It's income inequality. Do you think that's, looking at, you know, what's happening in the news now, is that a good idea?
It's a great idea. It is the greatest idea. We have a much more vibrant society when we don't have such a vast chasm between the haves.
Freeman's critique of Hollywood didn't end with its treatment of minorities. He also pointed out how the industry's quest for diversity often came at the expense of authenticity and respect for source material. In recent years, there has been a rise in race-swapping characters in movies and TV shows, a practice Freeman has criticized for disrespecting original stories.
Once you've cast a part, that's it. You're out of that part of it. Now you're directing the movie. You're not directing actors. Most directors, Ed's good case in point. Clint Eastwood is a good case in point. They have nothing to say to actors except this is where you're going to start, and you've already got your mark.
This trend, Freeman observed, undermined the integrity of storytelling. By focusing on superficial changes to appeal to a broader audience, Hollywood sacrificed depth and authenticity, alienating viewers who valued genuine narratives over forced diversity.
I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it.
Another notable moment in Freeman's fight against woke culture was his criticism of Black History Month. In an interview with 60 Minutes, Freeman called the concept ridiculous, arguing that it relegated the history of Black Americans to a single month, rather than integrating it into the broader narrative of American history. This perspective, though controversial, highlighted Freeman's belief in equality and integration over separation and tokenism. Freeman argued that dedicating a month to Black history only served to isolate and diminish the contributions of Black Americans.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Freeman's disdain for labels extended beyond Black History Month. In an interview with The Guardian, he expressed frustration with being called African American, a term he found both inaccurate and divisive. Freeman preferred to be identified simply as Black, just as white Americans are identified by their race without additional qualifiers.
You called it bull when you said people can't, pull themselves up. Do you think that race plays a part in wealth distribution, or either a mindset that you can't
Today?
or cannot? Yeah.
No.
You don't?
No, I don't. Hey, you and I, we're proof.
For Freeman, the term African American implied a separation from the broader American identity. It emphasized difference rather than unity, perpetuating a sense of otherness that hindered true integration. Freeman's stance challenged the way society uses language to define and divide, advocating instead for a more inclusive approach that emphasizes shared humanity over racial distinctions.
Can we move on?
And if you talk about it, it exists.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like it exists and we refuse to talk about it, but making it a bigger issue than it needs to be is the problem we have.
Freeman's critique wasn't limited to Hollywood. He also aimed at the media's role in perpetuating divisive narratives. In his interview with Don Lemon, Freeman pointed out how news outlets exaggerated stories about race, fueling tensions and encouraging conflict.
I don't think wealth and genetics have anything to do with each other, actually. If you're born in the U.S., it really doesn't matter the condition of your birth. What matters is what you inherit from your nurturing, from your environment, whether or not you're going, I'm just from the standpoint of having been born with little.
Freeman's insights into the media's practices shed light on how sensationalism has become a tool for profit. By focusing on polarizing topics, news outlets attract viewers and generate revenue, often at the expense of social harmony. Freeman's call to stop making race a central issue was a plea for a more balanced and constructive approach to reporting. Despite the risks of cancel culture, Freeman has remained steadfast in his convictions, refusing to conform to the expectations of the woke mob. His resilience serves as an inspiration for others who fear backlash for speaking their truth.
In this country, and I expect that by the time we've solved that problem, we will have developed others. So, life goes on.
I see what you're saying. Chaos and calm, right?
Cancel culture, Freeman argued, stifles free speech and discourages open dialogue. It creates an environment where people are afraid to express dissenting opinions, leading to a homogenization of thought. Freeman's defiance of this trend underscores his commitment to authenticity and integrity, qualities that have defined his career and personal philosophy.
Except this is where you're going to start, and then, you know, you've already got your marks, and the camera's going to be here, blah, 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 blah. Acting is your job. That's what I got. To me, that's a good director.
Freeman's critique of woke culture goes beyond his personal experiences. He sees it as part of a broader societal trend where ideological agendas overshadow individual merit and achievement. By prioritizing narratives over truth, Freeman believes society risks losing sight of what truly matters: hard work, resilience, and mutual respect.
With little, you can always get out of that. Poverty is just.
But environment effects.
Yeah, say you're born as one of the untouchables in India, there you are. And if you're born into the super rich, there you are. Here, you can be born to the super rich, but 3-4 generations down the line, it's gone.
Freeman's willingness to challenge the status quo has made him a polarizing figure, but it has also sparked important conversations about the direction society is heading. His perspective serves as a reminder that true progress comes not from pandering to vocal minorities, but from fostering genuine understanding and cooperation.
Where do you feel like we are in race relations in America 50 years after the I Have a Dream speech?
Yeah, I'm like everybody else. I think we've come quite a long way, but we had so far to go, and we still have.
Morgan Freeman's fight against woke culture is not just about resisting trends or defending his personal beliefs. It's about advocating for a society that values truth, integrity, and individuality. Freeman's courage in speaking out, even in the face of criticism, is a testament to his character and a call to action for others to do the same. What does real progress look like in a world where labels and agendas seem to divide us? Can we move past superficial actions and focus on what really matters: individuality, honesty, and respect for everyone? Morgan Freeman's powerful views give us a lot to think about.